Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, you know the drill. It does not matter what you drive. This is your all-terrain nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and today we're talking about the 2021 Jeep Gladiator. You've seen the thumbnail. You know what's going on. And I haven't really given the Gladiator a proper amount of attention just yet because we've been Bronco-centric like crazy. And it's because, you know, the Broncos just either it's been hot or just all the issues that trying to get to them is been kind of a nightmare. So I thought, why not get in the Jeep? Let's take a proper ride around and we'll talk about it and kind of give some pluses and minuses about the thing. And would I buy it again? Well, you'll have to wait and find out at the end of the video. So let's jump into this thing and have some fun. All right, so we are in the Jeep Gladiator, the 2021 Jeep Gladiator Willys edition, and the Snazzleberry, which I like this color a lot. I have to say Jeep knows how to throw some exciting colors on their vehicles, and it's something I think some of the other enthusiast brands need to learn a little bit better. Obviously, Jeep has special colors and stuff like Nacho that are very exclusive to the brand. And this Snazzleberry is not exclusive to the brand, but they've thrown it on their 1500s and stuff. And, you know, I like that they put it on this. I think I get a lot of attention in this thing. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I pull up to the supermarket or I can pull up to a light and I've had other people, not Jeep people, but other people be like, man, I love your Jeep. That's a good looking Jeep. And it's all due to the color, and I think the way this package has the off-road look. Definitely has the big meaty Firestone Destination MT tires. Not bad on the highway. They've really surprised me. I thought they might be a little louder than they are, and you can hear them a little bit now. But I've been very impressed with the tires. Now, it's not a tire that I would probably go out and buy, but for a factory tire coming with it, I've been very impressed with this tire. The package that you get, this is like having a Sport Plus. Now, we wanted the larger radio, the 7.5-inch screen radio, and I like it. The Uconnect 4 works great. The only downside to this package is you don't get Apple wireless CarPlay or Android Auto wireless. But other than that, I'm probably plugging my phone up most of the time anyways because, like everybody else, your phone needs charge all the damn time. So, other than that, the interior of this thing is really nice. It's a cloth seat still, which I don't mind. I actually like the cloth seats. I think Jeep did a really good job. The color, the dark color works well. They're not super hot when you go off-road. Or have the tops off. I've not experienced like, oh man, these things are just incredibly hot. But they're also not, you know, they're not the coolest seat either because they are a dark color. Now, when you get this Pentastar engine in this thing, a lot of people go, well, it's just not enough power, and it's what 285 horsepower, somewhere in there. And I think it's great. Now, will it sit you back in your seat and, you know, does it bring excitement when you floor the thing? No, but it's not intended to. These are off-road vehicles. These are not, if you want something like that, you might as well go get the Hellcat and just do that. But as far as like just daily use, works out great. Now, on my last trip to Detroit, I averaged right at 20 miles per gallon. I think by the time I pulled into the driveway, it was 19.9 exactly, but the fuel economy in this thing for what it is, I've been very impressed with it. I think other brands like the Ford Bronco and stuff better watch out because they are not getting close to this kind of fuel economy. Now, granted, I'm on MT tires, so I think if you had done just a normal AT tire, that I think you could probably done a little bit better than that. But hey, man, I wanted this thing to look cool, and I think that's what the Willys package brings to it. As far as just off-road handling, I've yet to get to do that. Now, I have a trip coming up this month that I'll be able to take this thing a little bit more off-road. But I've been on-road. I've been very impressed with it. It handles curves well. I've towed with this a little bit. Now, nothing outrageous. I've towed a lawnmower and a trailer and stuff. But it's stuff that I would actually do with this thing on a daily basis. It's not something, I'm not going out there to tow the max weight of this thing and climb hills and stuff. That's not how I would here on the East Coast to use this thing. But, you know, if you need something, a towing beast, I would suggest either going with, you know, probably the Ranger, or really step up to the full size vehicle. Go with an F-150, you know, a Ram 1500, a Chevy Silverado, or even the Nissan Titan or Toyota Tundra. Because these things, let's be honest, it's a truck, but it's not like it's made to go out and work it all day. This thing is an adventure vehicle, and that's what you have to, when you look for the Jeep Gladiator like this, that's what you have to accept, is that this is made to adventure. This is not made to you wouldn't take this to a construction site and use it all the time. And I think people, especially in the mid-sized market, I think people sort of confuse, like, oh man, they can tow up to 7,000 pounds, or like the new Frontier that's like 6,800 pounds. And that sounds great, and yes, you could pull a small RV, but that's it. It's not made to, these are not made to do that on a daily drive. Now, I find it interesting that I've made a lot of friends in the automotive world, and viewers like you guys who just seem to like the channel, and they ask my opinion of this. And some people are waiting for Broncos, some people are waiting for other vehicles that may be, just due to the world we live in right now, kind of behind production, and they thought about, well, why don't I try a Jeep for the summer? And I'm amazed to see how quickly that these people will grab one and modify them and just go out and have a blast in them. And once again, the cool thing about the Jeeps is the off-road market for them, the aftermarket for these things is just incredible. And I mean that. It's just, there's plenty, if you want, whatever you want to do to these things, whether you want it to be a mall crawler or you want to instantly go make this thing a rock crawler that you go beat the crap out of, there is something for you. And I've been amazed that some of our viewers will send me pictures of their rigs, and they literally just bought it. I bought this one again in May, and I know another viewer bought his in May, and his is built up now on 35s within 3 months. He's done all kinds of custom work to it, and because that the parts are there. So that's just a plus with these things. And Gladiator has a lot of parts for it. There's anything you want to do to these things. I've seen these things rolling in on 40s, which is really cool. Definitely re-gear though. Don't the factory Dana 44s front and rear on this, which is a plus of the Gladiator. You actually get nice strong axles versus the Dana 35s they're putting under the Wrangler. But re-gear definitely. You don't want to go into one of these things and not. You don't want to go in this with no gearing, or else then it feels like a dog, and you're just going to be disappointed in it. So always do it right. If you're going to go, with this, it's got 32s on it. I think I could get away with 35s and be okay, but probably would want to check your local off-road shop and maybe have your vehicle re-geared. Now, one of the cool things about the Jeep is the freedom panels. And you want to take those off. It's really quick. Just bam, bam. Unlock them, unlatch everything. Let's see, this one, nope, good to go. So, instantly, you can take these things off. Now I'll store them in the bed just because we're out on the road. Maybe this is how you want to enjoy your Jeep. You want to just hop in it. It's a nice day. You want to take your freedom panels off, and bam. Look at that, in 20 seconds, I've got all this fun convertible vehicle. And that's what, like I said, that is what these things are about. So we've done a lot of truck things with this, don't get me wrong. We'll go to Lowe's, we'll enjoy it that way. We'll take it through the, if we need mulch or whatever. Like I said, I've towed lawnmowers with this thing, zero issues with that. But ultimately, go buy a 1500 or a real mid-size pickup for that. This is the best of both worlds. You take the top off, you take the doors off, and you go enjoy your weekend like this. And I can't, this is the one thing that when this vehicle goes away, we are definitely going to miss. Now, we're moving from this to a Bronco, so we'll obviously get the roof experience. But as far as just the feel of having a truck that I know I can go to the Home Depot or Lowe's or somewhere and still have this freedom, that you can't put a price on that. It's just been the best. All right, let's get into some of the highs and lows of this thing. Well, let's start with the lows. The lows is the seating position. Now I'm 5'8", I'm not a tall guy, This is a common complaint about the Jeep. It's nothing new that if you're a taller person, you can't get the seat as far back as you'd like. Now, for me, it's the seat far back has not been the major problem. It's the comfort of the seat itself. This, I have to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, this was a 2 on a long trip. The seats are just too hard. I'm sure some of that is Jeep knows they're going to get a lot of abuse and they'll eventually soften up. But with 5,000, almost 6,000 miles on the dial of this thing, it's too rough. It's just for long trips. About 250 miles, 300 miles in, my butt was hurting, and I kid you not. It was just uncomfortable. And on the way back, I thought, well, maybe it's just me. No, the rest of the family said the exact same thing. And my 11-year-old daughter was talking about her butt hurting in this thing because the seats are just too hard. I don't know if it's just what they do in this kind of Sport Plus package that they do with these, or if it's just the whole brand of Jeep Wranglers / Gladiators. But the seats are just nah. Now they look good, and on a short, like in town, I never noticed this problem. I never had a problem with this thing in town being very uncomfortable. But once I, like I said, I went from Nashville to about Bowling Green, Kentucky, and suddenly I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a long trip. So that would be the kind of the big negative. Now, there's probably a couple other things that could be, like there was a couple I've noticed a little bit of build quality stuff where stuff doesn't seem like it's fitting as well as it should. That's just, we live in a pandemic world right now, where I'm not going to ding a company too bad for that, because we're lucky to get anything right now, right? Now, some of the pluses of this thing, obviously fuel economy for what it is great. I mean, 20, like I said, 20 on a highway with big heavy MT tires. I believe these are 32-inch tires. That's pretty impressive. Now, I think if you want a little bit better, you go with the 4XE or whatever they call it in the Wrangler, and you can get a little bit more fuel economy. But overall, I'm very pleased. This is a box. Let's be honest. This thing is a box that we're driving around, on the highway. So I won't ding it too bad for that. Overall, having the roof off of this thing is freaking nice. Now, something that you can ding it for, and I don't mind it, is it's incredibly long. There's no way around it. The vehicle is very long. Now Jeep they wanted a 5-foot bed that they could fold down for a 6-foot to get things actually in it, to make it practical. Plus, they wanted the ability to put 35-inch tires under the bed with no problems. And to do that, if you look underneath, you can see why. They definitely had to make that bed a little bit longer. And Jeep, when they did this thing, I watched the reveal of it like everybody, and the main engineer was talking about, he knows that people are going right from the buying the showroom floor to your tire shop. That's just, Jeep knows their audience so well, and they made it to where, hey, you want to put the bigger tires on it? We got you. The Uconnect 4 has been amazing. It's just fast. Would I like a bigger screen in this thing? Of course I would. But the 7.5 is not that bad, actually. It's very livable. I have zero issues with it. And I say it many times. What I need a radio to do now is to connect to my phone, and that's about it. As long as the speakers sound pretty good, which in this surprisingly do. Now you have the center post that Bronco guy's not going to like because they don't have that. But yeah, I do think that it does add something to have the sound bar there, and it gives you a little bit better sound because it's closer to you. Now the other brand, it's way in the back, and of course they have them up front too. But I just noticed that this versus the Bronco, the sound system's way better. And that was an FE first edition Bronco I drove, and I still think this kind of plain model sounds better. What else we got? All the fit and finishes to this thing look great. I think that's something that the other brands, if they want to copy this, they need to step up a little bit. Just everything about the dash just looks great. The aftermarket world, if you're buying a Jeep, you're probably not keeping it stock at all. You probably want to kind of step it up a little bit, and that's where Jeep wins versus a lot of other brands too. Is from the get-go, Jeep knows their audience, and they allow other companies to get a hold of these things quickly to develop parts for them, and they know, once again, it's coming from the factory to the dealership, and by the time it hits the dealership, a lot of them are getting modified. So that you got a hands down for Jeep on that. And Jeep sells a lot of quality off-road parts themselves. So there's a 2.5 inch kit that you can buy for this thing. It's around, I think, $1,500, something like that. And boom, when you buy it, you finance all that into the product, and you go down to your favorite tire store and you're good to go. All right, so there is the Jeep Gladiator. Guys, in the comments, let me know, what do you think about the old Jeep Gladiator? Yes, they do look long. I know that's going to be one of the first comments I hear. Well, it's just so long. Yes, it is long, but it's also a truck, and it's not trying to be a Wrangler. Now, the interior, everything about it is Wrangler. So, you know, if you are a Wrangler guy and you need a truck, but you don't need a ton, you know, you don't need a full-size truck, give this thing a shot, because taking the doors off and the freedom panels off and even the roof on the back off is so much fun. We've had a blast cruising around my local town here and just enjoying it that way. But yet, if I need to make a stop, you know, there's always a friend that needs a dresser moved, right? Thing's very capable of doing daily stuff like that. Now, would I take it to a construction site and think that it's going to be a workhorse? No, but it's not trying to be. It's being honest what it is. It's, you know, just kind of a ute of sorts, a fun vehicle, and it doesn't try to be anything more than that. Now, are there some minuses to it? Of course, it is a little long, and parking one of these things at your local grocery store is a little bit noticeable. It is, but after that, you get used to it, you're perfectly fine. So, let me know what you think. So, whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it doesn't matter what you drive. We've been reviewing the 2021 Jeep Gladiator Willys edition here on the channel. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.